Hello everyone, this is Rakesh Kapalis and I welcome you all in my today's class, and I hope you all are fit and fine at your homes. So today we will discuss plus 2 economics, and the topic for the day is excess demand and deficit demand. So before understanding what is excess demand and deficit demand, let me tell you, in our previous topics, in our previous classes, we have gone through what is aggregate demand, what is aggregate supply, and what is the equilibrium level of income and equilibrium level of output, in which we have understood how to find out the equilibrium by way of aggregate demand and aggregate supply approach, or by investment and saving approach. So now we will discuss the excess demand and deficit demand. And in order to find out the equilibrium, we have two components. One is aggregate demand and second is aggregate supply. And we simply assume that the aggregate supply cannot be increased so easily in an economy. So the equilibrium totally depends upon the aggregate demand. Aggregate demand may be equal to aggregate supply. It may not be equal to aggregate supply. So you can find the three types of situation in this case. If the aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, where all the factors of the production are fully employed, it is called full employment equilibrium, and it is called effective demand. Means demand is that what should be there. जितनी डिमांड होनी चाहिए उतनी डिमांड है, not excess, not you can say deficit. So that is one situation, but that is a very rare situation. Second situation, it may be possible that the aggregate demand which is required is less than what we need. Then we will got the underemployment equilibrium. Next situation, when the aggregate demand what is required is more than, actually more than what is being required, then it is called over full employment equilibrium. So if aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply, and at that point where it is being required, it is called effective. So now we will discuss the excess demand and deficit demand by using these type of, you can say, theories. The very first, that is, what is excess demand? Excess demand, it is also called inflationary gap, when the aggregate demand is more than that demand which is required. Suppose aggregate demand required 100 units. If 100 units will equal to 100 unit of aggregate supply, it will call full employment equilibrium. But in actual, the aggregate demand is more than that required level. Suppose it is 150, then this is called excess demand. Excess demand is that situation when aggregate demand is equal to aggregate supply at that level, which is full employment, where all the factors of the productions are fully employed. And we can understand this by using this diagram. On x-axis I have taken the output and income, and on y-axis I have taken the aggregate demand and aggregate supply. And this is the aggregate supply curve, which normally remains same. There is no change normally occur in this, but aggregate demand can shift. Okay, so the aggregate demand is intersecting each other at this point E. E is the required level of the demand. Means if they are intersecting each other at this point, it is called full employment equilibrium. But actually aggregate demand is more than that. Actually aggregate demand is AD dash. Demand should be AD, but the actually demand is AD1. Means now these are intersecting at point G. So if these are intersecting at E point M, OM is the required level of output or income, itni honi chahiye. But they are intersecting actually at G point. So because of that, actually actual demand is equal to ON. Means actual output is ON. Why? Required level of output and income should be OM. So because of which M and N is become the, you can say, excess demand, and this is E and F is called excess demand or inflationary gap. जब कभी भी डिमांड जितनी होनी चाहिए उससे ज्यादा होगी, that is called excess demand. And in this case we all can see all these gap is just because of excess demand. Now you can better understand by using these different types of alphabets. Now you can see actually aggregate demand required is equal to FM. This is required actually, and required is EM. So it means this F and E is equal to inflationary gap or excess demand. This is excess demand. Come to the opposite, which is called underemployment equilibrium. Here AS is the aggregate supply curve, and both are intersecting at each other at a point E. E वो लेवल है यहाँ पर एग्रीगेट डिमांड को होना चाहिए, which is required by the economy, where all the factors of the production, land, labor, capital, entrepreneur are fully applied. But in actual, aggregate demand is less than that. Aggregate demand is this. This is the aggregate demand in actual. So it should be here, but actually it is there. So the difference, this is opposite to that. Now the aggregate demand at required level will be upper than the aggregate demand actually will be less than that. So this will stand for the deficit demand or deflationary gap. When actually aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply at full level, it is called deficit demand or deflationary gaps, right? In this, E and M should be required level, while actual is F and M. So E and F level, this level will become, you can say, deficit demand or deflationary gap. Again symbolically you can understand actually aggregate is E and M. E and M is required, while what we need in order to get the full employment, or you can say when all the factors of the production will get the job, that is FM. So E and F will call deficit demand or deflationary gap. Whenever the demand will not be equal to the supply, means it will not be equal to aggregate supply, it will either, you can say, deflationary gap or deficit demand, or it may be inflationary gap or excess demand. Now we will discuss what may be the causes, why it happened, why there is the actual demand is more than what is being required. So we will discuss causes, and these causes will work opposite, because when if something is increasing and that becomes the cause of excess demand, then that will become the cause of deficit demand if that will work opposite. Suppose I am taking the very first example, that is deficit financing. When because of the continuous deficit, it is not possible for the government to make the expenditure. So in order to compensate that deficit, normally government take the loans or the borrowings from RBI or from the other financial bodies. So when government take the loan, then because of that the supply or the stock of the money increase in the economy, and because of the increase in the economy, the stock of the money increase, and because of that the purchasing power of the individual of that nation increase. So when my purchasing power will increase, then definitely I will go for the more spending, and it is just because of the more spending. So very first cause, that is increase in the borrowings. If government is making more and more borrowings from the financial institutions or from the RBI, then it will lead to the excess demand. Come to the deficit demand. On the another part, if government is repaying the loans or the borrowing taken from the financial institutions, in that case it will lead to the deficit demand. In simple words, let me tell you, if excess demand is there, it means people are spending more and more. The spending power of the purchasing power of the individuals are increased. The supply of the money is increased. But on the deficit demand, if the supply of the money is decreased, the purchasing power of the people has gone down, that is the deficit demand. Now, the second reason for that, that is increase in propensity to consume. If the people start spending more and more as compared to previous level, if the people are spending, if the spending habits of the people have changed and now the people have started spending more, then it will also lead to the excess demand. On the contrary, if the propensity to consume has decreased, if the people of any particular economy has habit of decreasing their expenditure, then it will call deficit demand. Like you can take the example of Corona period. In Corona period, because of the decrease in the level of income, the spending habits of the people has gone down, and that becomes the cause of deficit demand. The third in that case, in that series, that is increase in autonomous investment. And let me tell you, autonomous investment is that investment which is free of any, you can say, motivation. If I am spending my money just in order to get some return, it is called induced investment. But autonomous investment is free from any factor. So if I have increased in the autonomous investment, definitely it will lead to the excess demand. But on the contrary, if there is decrease in autonomous investment, it will be the cause of what you can say deficit demand. This is the cause of, you can say, the causes of what one more point you can add in this is that increase in public expenditure. If suppose government has increased the public expenditure by making roads, by making hospitals, or by spending the money on the infrastructure, then because of that, the benefit of that expenditure is being taken by each and every individual person. Like government has spent the money during Corona period on the subsidies, on the free distribution of ration. So because of that public expenditure, the income of the people has gone up and the excess demand will be there because of that. So but if on the opposite, if the public expenditure will go down, then it will become the reason for deficit demand. Now we can discuss one more point, what may be the impact. If excess demand is there, what may be the impact? The very first impact of the excess demand is a rise in price, because whenever the demand is more than supply, prices always rise. But if deficit demand is there, then the prices will go down. Price will go down because supply is more than demand. The second, on the output, if excess demand is there, there is no change on the output because all the factors are already engaged, all the factors of the productions are fully employed. Even you can take the example of employment. If excess demand is there, then no change in the employment because all the factors of the productions are already fully employed. But if deficit demand is there, output go down. Why? Because we have already produced. Supply is already more than demand, and there will be decrease in the chances of employment because now the production capacity of the you can say industrial units will go down, and then companies will start producing lesser quantities because excess quantity has been already produced. No change on employment, decrease in employment. No change in output, decrease in output. And last, because of excess demand, there is a chances of, you can say, inflationary time, right? And because of deficit demand, there are the chances of recession. There are the chances of lowering of the prices up to the all-time low level. These are the causes and effects of impact of this excess demand and deficit demand. Now in our next of the videos, we will try to understand what are the remedies, how we can remove the excess demand. Suppose aggregate demand is more than aggregate supply, or aggregate demand is less than aggregate supply. What a country can do in order to remove these situations, because both these situations are really negative for the growth and for the prosperity of that country. Okay.